Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Crowdshare Podcast. And today we're going to do some more NFL divisions predicting. And today we have the NFC South. The South divisions in the NFL right now are in a really rough state, but at least the NFC South is a little bit better than the AFC South. So let's get into it. Our first team here is the division winners for the past, I think, 4 years. I think the last team who didn't win, who wasn't Tampa, was New Orleans when Breeze was still around. And I think that was like 2020, which was the year I think that actually Brady and company won. Yeah. So I think the year that the Tampa Bay won the Super Bowl was the last year they did not actually win a division. They've won ever since. So for the Tampa Bay Bucs, their opening game will be actually a very good one on the road against the Atlanta Falcons, and then on the road against the Houston Texans. So off to a great start. Then they'll be home to face the New York Jets and the Philadelphia Eagles, on the road against the Seattle Seahawks, home to the San Fran 49ers, on the road against the Detroit Lions and New Orleans Saints before their first bye. New England at home, coming out of the bye, on the road against the Bills and the Rams. Home then, 3 straight games to face the Cardinals, Saints, and Falcons. Then we'll get 2 games against the Panthers, first at home, then first on the road, then at home with the Miami Dolphins on the road, sandwiched in between. Over under for the Tampa Bay Bucks, as I quickly go ahead and grab that. Over under for Tampa Bay sits at 9.5. So essentially, will they get double digit wins or will they go slightly above 500? This is a team that has remained extremely consistent. It's it is the man. I don't really understand how Tampa really continues to manage to just be like consistently okay. Um, and I do think that it could get 10 wins this year. I'm gonna. It's hard because I think they're either gonna be 9-8 or 10-7. I don't think they're going below 500. But the question is, which one do they get? Because I do not know. This is a very hard one. This is actually a really good number, I think. Um. Oh man. Oh god. I gotta actually look at the schedule again because it's actually that hard. Um. But no, you look at the Tampa team. Like I said, I mean, this has been a well-oiled machine for several really years now. I'm gonna go under actually. I think there's a couple harder I think there's a couple harder games in there, so I'll go with 9-8. I think that's probably around right. It's gonna be a fun year though. I think for Tampa. What typically happens is people underestimate the Bucs and they end up being better. Um So we'll see. I think it's going to be either them or Atlanta to win this division. I think the Bucs have a very legitimate chance of doing that. We'll see, obviously, if it comes to fruition. But it's been quite the season for the Bucs. Quite a few seasons now, I guess, for Tampa. They found their way into the playoffs several times. We'll see if they do it again this year. Next, we have the Atlanta Falcons, though. Excuse me. Sorry. As I've mentioned in earlier videos, I've been sick for a while, which is why a lot of videos weren't really coming out. Also, I was on vacation, so a lot of that contributed, and so still remnants here and there. Minnesota Vikings, Atlanta Falcons. I'm sorry, I'm reading them on the screen there. Minnesota, yeah, Tampa. Oh my gosh. Atlanta Falcons. This is their schedule. First they'll be at home against Tampa, then on the road against the Vikings and Panthers, home to the Washington Commanders. Then they will get their first bye, and then we'll get their bye for the season. I always say first bye like this is college. It is not. Um, then they'll be bye. Be at home. Then they'll be still at home to take on the Buffalo Bills, on the road against the San Fran Niners, back home against the Miami Dolphins, on the road against the Patriots. Then they have a neutral set, or they have a London game against the Colts. I gotta stop saying neutral site. Back at home to take on the Carolina Panthers, on the road against the New Orleans Saints, and on the road against the Jets. Home to the Seattle Seahawks, on the road against the Bucs and the Cardinals. Home to the LA Rams, and then finish the year at home against the New Orleans Saints. Over under for the Atlanta Falcons sits at 7.5. I have over for them. Definitely at 7.5. I think they definitely will be better than that. I mean, that's essentially saying will they be 8-9 or 9-8? I think they can very much reach the 8-9 mark, possibly 9-8. With Atlanta, the question really is on the defensive end as well as, what will Michael Penix be? Because I think the Falcons are done with the Kirk Cousins experiment. The question really now just becomes, are they going to really go all in with Michael Penix? Are they gonna really give him the full reins altogether, or is it going to be somebody else? I because I think the Atlanta offense is good. Atlanta does have a good offense. They are very talented on the offensive end, but what ends up becoming of the Atlanta offense still remains to be seen. Like I said again, I do think this is a very good Atlanta. I think this is a very good Atlanta offense, and I do think that Michael Penix could be very successful in the Atlanta offense, long bomber, solid offensive line. I think he could thrive in Atlanta's system, but that remains to be seen. It was kind of limited action last year when they just out of nowhere gave up on Kirk Cousins. That whole thing was also really weird. Sign Kirk Cousins to a huge deal and then draft Michael Penix for no apparent reason when really there was it was all really all of it was just extremely off-putting and strange, and really no one understood that. And I was at the draft when they that draft, and I was in Detroit when that happened. And I tell you what, the face on those Atlanta fans walking out of there was something fierce. I mean, that's a move the Lions would have made years ago. I'm happy I was not an Atlanta fan that day because I would have been absolutely fuming that day. Um, so moving on. That's enough about Atlanta. Uh, Moving on, we have the Carolina Panthers. Carolina, they start the year on the road against the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Arizona Cardinals before getting home to face the Atlanta Falcons. On the road against the New England Patriots, two home games against Dolphins and Cowboys, on the road against the Jets, home to the Buffalo Bills, at Lambeau take on Green Bay, home to the New Orleans Saints, on the road against the Falcons and Niners before going home to face the Rams, get their lone bye of the year very late in the season. And then we'll have 4 games to finish the year on the road against the Bucs. Or I'm sorry, on the road against the Saints. 2 games against the Bucs later on the road with the Seattle Seahawks home game sandwiched in between. And the Carolina Panthers over under is 6.5. Um, I don't know if they'll get to 7.5 wins. I think they'll be closer. I think 6-11 is probably decently accurate. But this is a Carolina team that's still growing. I mean, this is a young team. You got Terrio McMillan and Xavier Legette now as your receivers, a solid 1-2 punch. Um, your running room consists of Chuba Hubbard. No, actually, they got the Dallas guy too. I'm blanking out on his name right now. Not Tony Pollard, the other guy, Rico Dowdle. Obviously, we'll see how well Bryce Young does as he continues to grow. You got the offensive line, defense is okay. Carolina should be a competitive team, but 7-10 getting to that note, I think, is a little bit much to expect out of the Panthers. This is a good team, and it's a team that certainly has improved over several years from their 2-15 season. But to say 7-10, I think, is a little ambitious for the Panthers. Yes, should be a good year for them. No, I don't think it'll be that good of a year for them. And then there's this team, the New Orleans Saints. This is going to be a rough one. Home against the Cardinals and San Fran Niners to begin the year, and then on the road against the Seattle Seahawks. A lot of the West teams right off the bat. Then on the road against the Bills. Home to the Giants and the Patriots before heading to Soldier Field to take on the Bears. At home against the Tampa Bay Bucs. On the road against the Rams and Panthers before their bye. Then we'll have the Falcons at home, on road against the Dolphins and Bucs. Then you got the Carolina Panthers and New York Jets at home before finishing the year on the road against the Tennessee Titans and Atlanta Falcons. The New Orleans Saints sit at an over under of 5.5, smashing the under on this one. This is an awful team. No quarterback plan really as of right now, new head coach, but quarterback situation is an absolute nightmare. I mean, you're looking at Spencer Rattler, Jake Hayner, or Tyler Shook as your starting quarterback for the year. With Chris Olave as your only running back and Alvin Kamara probably likely to get traded because there's no way that guy is sticking around for this crap show that you're throwing together. Yeah, he's still there, but for me, how long is that going to last? You're clearly in rebuilding mode, and he's going to want to compete somewhere, I'm going to think. So I would not count on him coming or staying for all too long. And even Chris Olave, a lot of concussions, a lot of concerns with him and how where his mind really is at this point. Um, but yeah, for the Saints, it's just not a good team. I mean, these are the two weakest divisions, I think, by a comfortable margin in the NFL. The AFC South and the NFC South. These are ones I just did. Um, just not good teams. Really, the best way of putting it. Um, I don't really have anything else to really say. Just poor divisions, poor teams. Tampa, Atlanta, Houston are at least decent, but other than that, that's not much to really say about the South divisions. That's all I got for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll have some more. We'll have the West divisions come tomorrow. I'll see you guys then. But for now, till next time, adios, everyone.